Hello, my name is Jim Murphy, Murph. I'm an F-15 instructor pilot with over 2,500 hours of flight time in sophisticated jets like this one, the F-15. I'm also the founder and CEO of a company called Afterburner. We're a team of men and women fighter pilots that travel around the world teaching flawless execution methodologies. Flawless execution in rapidly changing, challenging, and for us as fighter pilots, hostile environments. We believe that the tools and techniques that the Air Force, Navy, and the Marines have taught us as fighter pilots are tools and techniques that you can use to win in your rapidly changing, challenging, and let's hope never hostile environments. We've trained over 100 of the Fortune 500 corporations worldwide through our programs. At Afterburner, we focus on one thing: flawless execution. We teach what we call the flawless execution model. It's simply how do fighter pilots execute perfectly, utilizing planning, briefing, executing, and debriefing tools and skills. In our team building seminars, half-day programs, corporate coaching, consulting, and keynote addresses, that's what we'll teach your team.
All right. Wisefester, how's everybody doing this morning? Now come on, Wisefesters, I know Dallas is an exciting city, but that was weak and unacceptable. Let's try it one more time. How's everybody doing this morning? All right. Much, much better. Well, my name is Commander Jim Murphy. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Afterburner. We're a group of men and women fighter pilots, no kidding, real fighter pilots that travel around the country, actually around the world, talking to leaning forward, cutting-edge organizations and individuals just like you, getting you prepared for one thing and one thing only. And what do you think that is? Combat, right? Because we have a saying at Afterburner that business or trading is combat. Business is combat. And I want to ask each and every one of you a question. What is combat? Combat for me, for us as fighter pilots, is a rapidly changing, challenging, and sometimes hostile environment. I want you to think about your world for a minute. Is your world rapidly changing, challenging, and possibly even hostile, right? So that's why we're here today, because we believe that the tools and the techniques that the Air Force, Navy, and the Marines have taught us as frontline fighter pilots are tools and techniques that you can use to win in your rapidly changing, challenging, and let's hope never hostile environment.
If you ever lose sight of your threats to mission success, you will always lose the fight. Lose sight, lose the fight. It's true flying fighters, and it's true for you in the corporate real estate environment as well. Well, today we're not only going to give you some tools to help you keep sight of your competition, we're going to teach you a process that will dramatically improve your execution. Once we plan, brief, execute, and we know our results, what does 90% of corporate America like to do next? Guess what? You're right. Nothing. Plan, brief, execute, Miller time. Or, in most cases, it's more like plan, brief, execute, and it's on to putting out the next fire or dealing with the next crisis of the day. Well, not in our world. After every single mission, we call time out and we hold a debrief, where we get together behind closed doors. We hash out what worked and what didn't. And we walk away with 1, 2, maybe even 3 key lessons learned. Things we never want to do again. Things we always want to incorporate into our plan. So that when we plan, brief, execute, debrief, we win on our battlefield. And folks, if you'll embrace this concept, I promise you'll continue to win on your battlefield as well.
Let me ask you, since when in life does everything ever go perfect? Never, right? Absolutely never. That's why we have step 6. Step 6 is to plan for contingencies, the what-ifs. As fighter pilots, we spend over half of our time talking about the what-ifs, the contingencies. The what if this happens, what are we going to do? As an example, what if Cruiser's the flight lead for this huge strike package going in to this unknown territory? I'm leading 20 other aircraft, and I get shot down by a surface-to-air missile. Does Jack Yeo take over as the flight lead, or does my entire team turn back and land to do it another day? What if the weather over the target is so bad that we can't drop these precision-guided munitions on this vacant building? What are we going to do? What if 12 MiG fighters show up on top of our strike package to take us out instead of the 6 that our intelligence officer told us were around? What if for X-Rite? What if at the end of Q1 you're 15% below plan? What are you going to do? What if Graytag rolls out a new product that competes directly with the product that you just recently rolled out and they're out there stomping you in the marketplace? What if one of your key accounts decides to cancel their forecast for the rest of the year? What are you going to do? See, we have a saying, flying fighters, and we say this: flexibility is the key to air power. And at Afterburner, we take that one step further and we say preparation is the key to flexibility. We do not manage by crisis, ever. We sit in a room just like this, sipping on a Coke in our planning phase and in our briefing phase, and we know exactly what we're going to do when we're merging with our competition at over 2,000 miles an hour. I know exactly what I'm going to do when my competition turns right and goes nose low, or they turn left and go nose high. We do not manage by crisis. If you want to eliminate surprises, you have to plan for change. The ability to adapt and change is truly the key to success.
Well, as a Marine-trained fighter pilot, I like to keep things pretty simple. At the end of the day, I want my number of takeoffs to equal my number of landings. Simple goal, right? If they don't, then something's gone wrong. I've probably had to eject out of my aircraft and ride a silk parachute down to the ground. We actually call it the silk letdown. You know, thinking about it, silk's a good word. Group, spell, silk. S-I-L-K. Very good. Group, what does a cow drink? You know, I'm pretty sure where I'm from in Kansas that cows drink water and give milk. But that's okay. I'm going to give you another try. This time when I ask you a question and you know the answer, I simply want you to raise your hand. No shouting it out. Raise your hand when you know what Y-E-S spells. This isn't a trick. Sorry, you had to know what Y-E-S spelled to get in here today. Okay, good. Put your hands down. This time raise your hand, and raise your hand only when you know what E-Y-E-S spells. Okay, Harvard grad over here. The rest of us are thinking about it. You got 2 of them. You're using them right now to look at me. Your eyes. In fact, I think I heard someone over here going, E-S, E-S, lips, what the hell does E-S spell? Well, don't feel too bad, because my daughter brought those home from school the other day to stump old Dad, and of course, I got both of them wrong. But I thought that they were pretty good examples of how you become channelized or focused on one particular thing, whether it's silk or Y-E-S. The surrounding things tend to break down and become degraded.
Let's talk about your last generation tactic for sales spark. Professional, successful image. I know that my father used to really concentrate on this. He would sit out there. We had to drive a great car. He had to have the right shoes. He had to have, cufflinks. He had to have a ring that looked just right, a big watch. Had to have a perfectly pressed shirt. And all those things are good, and a nice suit. All those things are good, but that was not only good, it was required. There was no way you were going to sell anything unless you portrayed this ultimate, successful, wealthy image. The customer has become more savvy. Our customer has proceeded along and learned and changed to adapt our tactics every single day, year after year. And so we have to embrace what we call at Afterburner next generation selling, or next gen selling. And next gen selling starts with a strategy. Sales teams, sales divisions, sales people, sales companies rarely, if ever, start with a strategy.